Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Sly, and I want to talk about how a lot of people right now are upset that Adam Peters is probably on his way out off to Washington to be the new GM over there. And I'm hearing KBR, 95.7 the game. People on Twitter all freaking out, upset. But to me, honestly, it ain't no big deal, man. I'll be 100% honest with you, because there's two guys that we know that Adam Peters had a huge part in getting. One is Ambry Thomas. That's a given. After the draft, even John Lynch said, "Hey, Adam, this is his guy. This is who we wanted." And when Ambry did get the interception in that 2021 game against the Rams last week of the season, where Stafford threw it right to him, Adam Peters was there giving a big ol' hug, talking to him for like a minute or two, and that was his boy. And let's be honest with you guys, this guy had a huge part in probably the worst trade in NFL history with Trey Lance. If you guys don't remember, here's a clip from 2021 before we drafted Trey Lance. Check this out.
I don't know if it's exactly that. I do get the sense, and because I hear this from other people in the league. Yeah, there's people in the front office that love Trey Lance there in San Francisco. There's no doubt about it. I've heard it from multiple people. So I don't know if it's, John Lynch trying to play a political game. I've heard one of their, top personnel guys. One of them, I hope I don't butcher the name here. Is it Adam Peters?
Adam Peters.
Yeah, Adam Peters, right? There's the rumor around the NFL that he's in love with Trey Lance. You talk to anybody kind of in the know, that's what you hear.
All right, man. So he was in love with Trey Lance. He was part of the whole 3 first-round picks for, Trey Lance. He was on board with that. And to me, I know obviously Kyle had the final straw, but that's inexcusable, man. To me, the only reason everybody here pretty much still in Pat is because, let's be honest, a guy who's a pro scout right now with the 49ers, Steve Slowick. Steve Slowick had the last pick in the draft when he was an area scout, and he picked Brock Purdy. He's the one that said, we got to get this guy. Him and our quarterback coach, Brian Griese, both scouted this guy with the last pick. And they got out and picked Brock Purdy, man. Imagine, you pretty much have one lotto ticket. Adam Peters has 1 million lotto tickets, and none of his hit, and Steve Slowick's hits. So if you're telling me Steve Slowick's going to Washington, he's going to be, the GM, I would be upset. I would be pissed off. Damn, that sucks, because he's awesome. But Adam Peters going, all we know is a few picks. All we know is that he was a scout in Denver when they picked up Tim Tebow. So I'm not tripping out. I get it. Everyone's upset. He's a local guy, all this, whatever. Can you draft? Do you know how to draft talent? That's all that matters to me. Can you draft talent? And what I've seen, with the two guys that we know, I'll be honest with you, Ambry Thomas, a lot of times it seemed like the reason he was still here on this team was because of Adam Peters, in training camp this year, getting toasted all the time. We cut Deshaun Jameson, Quantrez Knight, guys that I feel should have been above. If we had to keep two guys, who would you rather keep Ambry Thomas and Isaiah Oliver, or Deshaun Jameson and Quantrez Knight? I'd go with Quantrez Knight and Deshaun Jameson all day, every day. But Ambry Thomas, he's not the worst player, but he is who he is. He's Jekyll Hyde. At the end of the day, he's Jekyll Hyde. Nothing too special, but he's there, and he's better than Oliver when he's playing the slot. So I'd rather have Ambry on the field than Oliver on the field. So, going back to Adam Peters, he had a big part of it. Look at this little thing right here. If you could read that right there. It basically talks about his last game, Trey Lance's last game, and he was like, oh man, just gushing over him. Like, when he had to make a play, he made a play in that one game in 2020 where he was pretty much horrible. You could just see him gushing over him. So, he had a huge part in wanting Trey Lance. So, people out there, they're upset that he's going. But man, honestly, to tell you the truth, I look at who you get, and we could. The reason I was pissed off at that trade, Lance, everyone involved with that, because we could have got so many damn players out there. Imagine we had a Slayer, the guy who I wanted. That offensive line would be, instead of the 4th ranked offensive line, we would be top 15 at least. Imagine Slater next to Trent Williams, and you could still have Aaron Banks there. I mean, and then plus you would still have 2 first-round picks and another second and a third. I mean, this team, imagine if one of those other picks hit. Dude, we'll be set, baby. So, I mean, Steve Slowik, man, let's be real. This guy, he's a smart dude. His brother, obviously, Bobby Slowik, who is, I believe, the defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans. Steve Slowik, man, he's a smart dude. He was working for PFF before he was a scout here, so he's all into the analytics stuff. And to me, he's someone that we should definitely keep an eye out, to jump up that ladder if John Lynch ever decides, it might be time to go. I mean, Steve Slowik, man, he looks like a freaking genius out there. And it's really cool. Obviously, he got promoted for picking up Brock Purdy. So I think also give it to Brian Griese, man. Give his ass the offensive coordinator position right now, man, because he seems to be a genius too. Those two guys getting Brock Purdy. So to me, Adam Peters, I know everyone's down and out, but I'll just say this, man. Don't be. Don't be, man. We are the only 2 picks. Maybe he made other picks. Maybe he was out there with other good dudes that we don't know about that he had a big part of. And he probably was. But all we know is he was part of 2 picks that were not the greatest picks. He was there, like I said, Denver Broncos when they drafted Tim Tebow, man. And I personally, I know Tim Tebow was a great dude, great man, great human being, but as far as that quarterback, it was obvious, like, dude, you're not gonna draft this guy in the first round. You would have, who was a coach at the time? The one who just got fired from the Raiders. I'm drawing a blank. Horrible coach, but I would have went to him, bro. Whatever we do, we can't draft this guy. I do not want my name to be a part of drafting Tim Tebow. The guy cannot throw the damn ball. What is wrong? Do not do it. Josh McDaniel, don't do it, dude. What are you doing? Like, I can't be a part of this. So, it is what it is, man. But I'm just saying, if you're a Niner fan, be more encouraged that Steve Slowik's still in the building, and he's got the promotion. Instead of being an aerial scout, he's a pro scout his first year. So, I mean, let him cook, man. Let this guy go up the ranks, hopefully be right there, right behind John Lynch, and help making these picks, because he's going to have, instead of drafting guys in the 7th round and hitting with an MVP caliber quarterback like Brock Purdy, now you get to help maybe 1st, 2nd, 3rd round, be a part of that, be a part of the big kids table and making those picks. So, I mean, I'm pumped, man. Steve Slowik, he's a guy, like I said, PFF, worked for them for a few years, so he's all into everything, analytics, every little thing you could get to draft these players, and I love it, man. I get it. The eye test, you got to look at that too. I'm a big believer looking at the eye test. Can this guy beat this guy one-on-one or whatever it is, whatever position it is? But, I mean, there's nothing to cry about. At the end of the day, there ain't nothing to cry about, because I think we got the better guy, to tell you the truth, man. I'm just saying, the 49er fans, don't trip, man, because we're in good hands with Steve Slowik, and if Adam Peters goes, it is what it is. That's just my take. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.